So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how to some basics in Roblox Studio, and basically today I'm just gonna be showing printing. So how to create a new base plate. You gotta go into new, and you gotta click on base plate or any of these other ones. You can click the base plate 2021. I really don't. It really doesn't matter. Okay, and then what you gotta do is this is the workspace, and this is where the base plate is in. All right. Now the players, that's where you will appear once you click on play. Okay. So once you click on this play button, it's you will appear into this player section. Now we also have lightning, which there's time of the day which you can change to make it night or something like that. So if it's 19, it changes. Now I'll put it back to the default because I like working in studio when it's daytime and then changing it to nighttime once I edit my thing. Um, the yeah. Then we have the replicated first. You can keep some scripts in here, but I usually put some of them server script servers or wherever else I need them to put them. Now replicated storage is where you keep everything, basically, almost everything. So now if let's say if we want to create a script that will drag something from replicated storage to the workspace, then you would need to create it like so you need to create you needed to create a folder and then another folder in there, which is like named chapter what or something. I don't know. Um yeah, and then you gotta like add inside this folder, like inside the chapter one, like a part. Oops, sorry. A part. So there you go. And the part will be right here. You can see it because it's in replicated storage, right? Now, now, if we were to add into a workspace part, you would see it right here. Now, how to rotate and everything. Rotating, you can click the R key, but that's only when you select it. And you have it right here too, to rotate like this. If you want to rotate free like this, you want to go into model and uncheck this. So it'll be like this for you. So you can only like move it like this. I use this rotating sometimes. But I also use this one when I uncheck it. And usually put it at 10, 10. I usually put it at 10. Now, for the move, I usually use one stud. Then we have transform, which basically can also just give you a more example. We'll give you everything. We'll give you a more detailed. Okay, so let's say you wanted to do a 90-degree angle. It will be like this, right? Or move it like this to make it 90-degree again. It just works like that. Now for this is basically to move it up in the air. Now if you wanted to undo that, click this button right here, and it will make it back here. Then we have the scale tool, which basically scales it. Um, and if you wanted to make like different ones, like example for building, you have the move tool, which will basically move this. You can also use the select tool, but move is for some stuff. Now, if you wanted to, for example, if you had like a part right here, right, and you can't go through the walls, well, that's because you had this unchecked. You had that unchecked. I mean, wait, no, you had I think you had one of these three enabled. I think it was collisions. Yeah, you had collisions enabled, so that's why you couldn't do that. You have to disable collisions. Joint surfaces, you can keep the joint surfaces. It makes it easier. But yeah, this makes it like it moves it like this, and this when you uncheck it, it just moves it however you want it to move. Now, to make it easier for building, you can just do this. You can click on Control plus D, and it'll do this. All right. Now, if you wanted to change the color, click on the brick color, and you can change it to that. Now, to prevent this from happening, that's why I suggest putting it right there. Okay. But now I'm just gonna put it as red, and if you wanted to change it, you could change it. You can change the brick, and then maybe scale it up a bit. I don't know. Let's do something. This is like a little. Let's make like a little blocky thing, and this can be like the store sign or something. I don't know. And yeah, you can make this however you wanted it. For example, let's make a little like house or something. You want it to go like this. So that's like the something. That's like the chimney for the house. Um, yeah, but basically I use that mostly. So yeah. See this? Like you just boom. Yeah, yeah, and it works like that. Then what we have, um, um. Okay, I thought my microphone plugged out, but never mind. Then what we also have, we have the transparency. Um, you want to set it to 1 if you want it to be completely transparent, 0 if you don't want it to be transparent, or like this if you want it to be a little bit transparent. Reflectance. This I've never really used reflectance that much. Reflectance, I've never used that, so I don't really know what that does. Cast shadow is basically making it more 3D. It just gives like a shadow to that. Now orientation, that's like also the rotate tool. The rotation changes once you rotate it. As I said, the undo button will be really useful. The position is where it will be located in the workspace. I prefer moving it, and yeah. Now anchored and can collide are most the two most um important things that you should know about Roblox Studio building and everything. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry for that. And yeah. Um, Now anchored is basically so it doesn't fall. Um, like if so, like this thing does not fall apart and then it rotates to be like this, so it doesn't fall like that. So you have to put it on anchored, so it does not do that. Now, Archivable, I have never used Archivable before, um, so I'm not really sure what does that do. Now, for the mechanical line, it determines whether a part will interact with other parts. When it's disabled, like this, it's unchecked. Basically, like if this is unchecked right here, right? And this is checked. If this is unchecked, these three parts can go through that, right? Or yeah, or like other parts, or the player can actually go through that. Now, now when it's enabled, you basically they can't pass through it. Now the parts that are used for decoration, like if you want to add some decoration to this, like example, like a plant or a pine tree, I mean plant, like basically parts used for like decoration stuff. I usually keep them on this. You can call it disabled, and yeah, um, and yeah. Now we have the locked, and then we have the massless. um basically massless. If it's enabled, the part will uh not contribute to the total mass or inertia, basically. Um, because if it's welded to another part that has mass, parts that are actually massless should never be like a root part or something. And yeah, basically, I don't really use massless, so I don't really know really what that does. Now, locked property, it determines um, if it can be if the part can be selected in Roblox Studio by clicking on it. Now, if we clicked on lock, see, we can't click on that. We can click on this, but we can't click on this. All right. Now, we can only click if we clicked on here. So you can you can lock it if you want to, but you don't really need to. Now, archivable, archivable right here. That actually means um um I'm I- I'm not really sure. I don't use archivable that much, but like I'm thinking like that it's like I don't know how to describe it. If like an instance is to be or something like that. And yeah, base okay. Then we have these other stuff, which is the size that determines how big this is. So if we change this, it will change that. And yeah, now the shape, you can make it a cylinder, so it does like that, or a ball if you want to be like that, or a block. Yeah, that's basically that. And yeah, now the attributes, you can add like lots of those. You can add strings, you can add bools, you can add numbers, brick color, vectors, colors, rectangle, other stuff. Okay, that's like if for a part, I guess. Now, the things you want to have always enabled, things I do, you have anchor right here, which makes it easier so you don't have to click on every part and click on it here. You have the group, which basically makes this part a model, and it automatically puts a weld inside of it. I think. No, wait, no, never mind. Um, Now if you wanted to, let's say, put all these in a group, just undo this, select this, press Shift, oh, actually press Control, press Control, and then click on other parts. So then it doesn't select that part. And then you click on this group, and it'll make it a model, so you can move it without actually having to like do everything. Now, right here you have the name, parent, and primary part. Parent is where it is in. So if we drag that to replicate search, the parent will be replicated search, and it disappears. Now we have service service. That's where you keep your scripts in, like for example that data logic or game logic or something like that. Then we have the server storage where you keep like you can keep some scripts in there or something that you don't use anymore. And then there's started GUI, which is basically what you the GUI is up here. Starter pack. This is just for tools. Start player. You have that's basically if we made like a player or something. If we made like the drooling zombie. If we added this drooling zombie, Arthur, and we put that the zombie in the starter character. Um, it will make us yeah, and basically yeah. Now the things you want to have enabled are toolbox, which which I just used to get the drooling zombie. Then we have you can use material and color sometimes, like you want to, but I prefer actually clicking and then getting the material in this. Now, you have these materials. I forgot to say, have the materials and the colors. Um, example, if you want Carrara metal, you can click on C. It'll do cobblestone first. Then you can click another C, concrete. C, Carrara metal. And then you click on the one you want and click on that. And I'll change this to carotid metal. That's basically like textures or materials, you know what I'm saying. Um, then in the model, I recommend um using the create to create welds. Now, how to create a weld? Well, you click on the weld, and you basically set that to be the first one. Then you add another part on top of that, and then you create another weld and you put it that, and this will create a weld constraint. Now, what does the weld constraint do? Well, it just makes these two parts welded. And I recommend having using the jaw on top. You can also use the show welds. So this is where the weld was. Now, if you were to move this part, the weld would of course move and be like that. Now you have the effects, which is like the fire right there. Have like the fire effect. Then you have explosion, which is basically that. Then you have the point light, which makes it brighter. You have smoke, which does that. You have beam, which which yeah, which basically like gives a beam. Have like sparkles trail, like everything basically. Now the spawn is to insert a spawn location. And yeah. Then you have the surface, and yeah, basically. Then in the view, this is the most important thing. You want to have the command bar out. At least for me, I like to have that one. Script analysis is not that. You must have the output out if you want to see your thing, if you want to see your errors. Team create if you wanted to do it with someone. Terrain editor is of course to generate and other stuff. You don't need to have that one. Toolbox, yeah, make sure to have that breakpoint sometimes. You can have the properties, of course, and explorer out. Show grid is better for building. I recommend having that one. Now for the plugins. Plugins I use are load character, resize outline, gap fill, material flip, build tools by F3X, build rig, and yeah, that's basically it. Avatar importer, yeah, that too. Now tools and animation editor is inside of Roblox when you first join. But you can also use Moon Animator. Now, printing. Let's insert a script inside of that. And basically it just prints the hello world. When you click on the play button, the hello world will appear in your right here. Hello world. But let's say we wanted to print something else. Like example math problems. Well, then you don't want to have these. So basically you just do 5 plus 5. And then you click on play and it should say 10 right there. Now for square roots and squares, basically that's a bit harder. And I never tried that. I've never tried that. You can use like hard numbers. For example, like 22. X or like 5 basically. You can use that. And then you click on play and it should insert the exact amount 1020 26 2060. Now let's say you wanted to print something else. Like example, print your name. Print, well, you just want to do print hello there. Hello there. Hello there. I am Fox. Yeah, basically. Then you click on play, and it will do that. Hello there. I'm Fox. And that's basically it of what you need to do. Now for the game settings, if you want to publish a game, then if you need to publish a game in order to make those settings. These are the devices that you can use: computer, phone, tablet. Genre, you have all adventure, building, comedy, fighting, FPS, horror, medieval, military, naval, RPG, sci-fi, sports, town and city, and western. Now, if you want to enable a console, you have to agree that it doesn't have Roblox gambling, drug reference, strong language, intense violence, or blood and gore. So I don't recommend using console for most horror games. And then creator, you can set it to you or any group that you're a developer or something in. And then this is the name of the game and this is the description. I will right now publish the game. And you can find that now. Now, basically, you can set it the permission to make it private, so that nobody can do that. To add color bidders, you have to turn on team create. So you have to go back into the view and do this again and click on the turn on, saving latest updates, and it will relaunch the game. Sorry if this video was a little bit too long. I just wanted to explain everything to you about like the main stuff. Yes, there will be more videos about this. Now let's go back to the game settings. Permissions. This is who you can add to your game. Now this is just a public or print. Monetization, you can set private service, and you can set it to free or paid. And if you set marketplace fee 9, you earn one Robux. Paid access, this is if you want to do paid access. Now for the security, you can enable all of these. I mean, only if you want to. These are actually enable studio access to game services, such as data stores. Third-party sales are just so players can purchase some items provided by third parties. And it says everything there. Localization, source, you can set it to Japanese. It will do that. But I prefer it in English. Now if you do Japanese, not sure what it does. It just basically changes something. I don't know what. Places, you have this max players. You can edit that. And add max players to be example 6. And you have Roblox optimized failure servers to optimize for the best social gameplay experience, maximum or that. Allow copying. You can make it off or on. This is if they wanted to edit stuff. Then we have the avatar, which is how you want it to be. Avatar type R15, R6, or player choice. Animation, player choice, or standard. And collision, out of box or in box. Now I have these: ortho, classic scale, full classic, height, and everything. You have basically everything. Now for the world, you have classic, realistic, action. This is for that. How big you want to jump. Enable collaborative editing. Make sure you can shut down all the servers. Enable collaborative editing, of course. Now let me show you the starter character thing I was gonna show, but didn't. It doesn't work because it's a drooling zombie, of course, and it doesn't really work like that. So basically, if yeah, so basically. And basically, that's it for this video. I have explained printing, I've explained basically everything, so yeah, I'll see you guys in the video. Peace out.